Hey, welcome to week 3 of the 40 Days of Prayer Help for Host videos. My name is Brandon Reed, and I serve as the small groups pastor at the Rancho Capistrano campus.
And I'm Heather Leith, serving as the high school small group coordinator at the Lake Forest campus. Here we are at week 3, and we are excited for what's ahead.
This week, we're going to be digging into the first 2 weeks on the pattern of prayer. Now, I don't know about you, but I sometimes fall into ruts in my praying, feeling like I'm just saying the same thing the same way over and over. Well, over the next 2 weeks, we're going to be looking at the Lord's Prayer and taking it piece by piece, and each piece will show us a different aspect of prayer that we may have never noticed before. And hopefully by the end of these 2 weeks, we'll have a far broader understanding of all of the different ways that we can connect with God, and our times in conversation with Him will be taken to a whole different level.
For the first section of the Lord's Prayer, the key verse is in Psalm 107:15. Give thanks to the Lord for His unfailing love and His wonderful deeds for men. Too often, our prayers are just a list of stuff we want from God. Jesus' model shows us that prayer should begin with gratitude towards God for who He is and all that He's already done. Make sure to take some time in your group discussions this week to reflect on some of the amazing work God has done in your lives. Get ready to hear and celebrate some awe-inspiring stories. The more vulnerable and trusting your group is, the more valuable these stories will be. Lead the charge by thinking through 1 or 2 stories right now about how God has been involved in your life. Your role as a leader is to open the door first and show that the group is a safe place to share.
Yeah, which reminds me, this would be a great week to remind your group of the small group guidelines agreed to on the first week, specifically those values of creating a safe and confidential environment. Also, I hope you're getting a sense of how to move the conversation along. If you find that you're spending all of your time on the questions and not really getting to the putting it into practice section, be sure to cut down the discussions elsewhere. The goal here is not just to talk about prayer, but to actually practice praying together. So for those in your group that may have been hesitant at first to pray out loud, gently and graciously give them a chance to take that baby step.
Yes, and we want to be putting these things into practice and applying what we learn. Another way to help with that is to use the tools described in the study guide. So this week you'll find God's Goodness to Me from A to Z in the back of your study guide. This tool will really help expand your understanding of all of the ways that God has been good to you. Use it during your gathering if people are having a hard time coming up with examples of God's goodness to them. Also, believe it or not, we only have a few weeks left of this series. Begin the conversation now with your group members about the possibility of continuing on after the series. If you have questions about what it looks like to continue past the campaign, questions like what should we study next or when should we start up again, then please reach out to your community leader or your small group pastor. They'd love to help keep your group together.
Well, that's it for this week. Thanks for listening, and know that we are praying for you. Look through the materials, check out the tools available to you in the study guide, and be certain to pray before people arrive. Have a wonderful third session, and we'll see you next week.